Hello, I am recording this video for a friend. They had asked me some questions about setting some things up with MixItUp, and I wanted to go ahead and just make a video because I think that would be easier so that they can have a visual representation. And I thought that it might be helpful to go ahead and record this so that I can upload it on YouTube and share it with anyone else that might have a similar question. And I feel super awkward recording myself. I'm not used to it. For someone who streams on Twitch all the time, you'd think that this would be normal, but it's not. So I'm gonna jump right to it. So the first thing that we were talking about was how to set up an auto shoutout on MixItUp. So the first thing that you want to do is make sure that you have a command set up in advance for a shoutout. So this would be the same one that you would do manually, like your exclamation point command for SO, like exclamation point SO at whoever. And you can use a chat message. Tyrion. Hello, Tyrion. Do you want to say hi? Hi. I'm not live. No one's sending you loves yet. Mwah. So you want to have a chat message set up. You can connect a separate Twitch account to MixItUp, and if you have that set up, if you don't check off send as streamer, it will send from your bot account. For instance, I have one called Soba Noodle Bot that posts. But if you want the message to send as yourself, for instance, if you're including emotes that you have to be subscribed to use, you would want to check off send as streamer. But you can set up however you want. If when using MixItUp, MixItUp has either the $sign target username like here, or you can just use $sign username. If you use $sign username, it's going to target the person that triggers or uses the command. So for instance, if you were trying to shout someone out and you used $sign username here, it would just shout you out. So if you wanted to target someone that you are adding, you would use the $sign ARG1 username. And then you can also include their target user URL and their target user stream game. And then if you want a overlay to go off on the stream, like if you want something to show up on your screen, you can really use whatever you want. You can pick whatever images you want and combine them in any way. So for instance, I have this banner right here. And then I also have I kind of cheat on this. You can't tell when the shoutouts go off, but it's actually my old host alert badge. But when the user avatar goes off in front of it, kind of hard to tell. And then I have the user text, so you can use target username, and then I have like some subtext, and then, you know, like I've added in like little flames and things that go off. And I also have, if you go down here to action, you can go down to Twitch and select, I'm just gonna add another one here so that you can see it. And you can use it to do all kinds of stuff on Twitch. You can do, like, you can set it to VIP. You can set a command for VIPing a user, running an ad, creating polls. The only one that I really use is the send shoutout command for the fancy Twitch shoutout. Oh my gosh, my cat is going wild. So that's the only one that I use. And then of course, when you're going through and setting these up, you have like, I have my banner. You go through here, you can pick overlay or like images and video, text. There's a bunch of stuff in here that I haven't even messed around with. So you'll just want to make sure that you have it set to the correct thing. And also, if you want text to show up on screen, like the user text, that also goes in under image and video, and you'll just leave the action set to text here. And then you can customize the text with the color, the font name, bold, underline, whatever size you want the font. And then depending on where you want it to be on the screen, you can use a simple setup, which will just give you, like, you can pick just the middle of the screen, the left, right, so far and so forth. If you know the pixels, I don't. I'm bad at this one. I use percentage, and then I just kind of play with it until I get it to where I want it. So, like, since I clicked off of it, this is going to change it. So, like, now it's over my banner. I don't even think it's going to show up on my screen. It's all the way up here in the top, very top corner. You kind of can't, it's like way up here. You kind of can't see it. But, so just kind of mess with those sliders until you've got it in the position that you want it, and you can adjust size and such. Like, you can pick the width, the height, just kind of play around with it until you find something that works for you. But that is how I do my custom shoutouts. I have a different one set up for if I want to do a shout out with a clip, which I just downloaded from MixItUp's community boards and then imported myself after adding my own shrine flames and stuff, which is like my shrine flames. That's my like stream overlay. So I have this twitch.guru, clipsworks, target user, display name, and then you have this link. I can send this to you if you need it. Discounts as a oh my gosh, I can't remember the thing for it. Web request. And you'll go in, you'll set that up as a web request. And you'll have the action set to web page. It'll just be default. You'll put in that web page URL, and that will automatically play a clip. So when everything comes together, when you have all those banners and stuff where you want them, it'll look something like this. Oh, thank you for welcoming in, Pando. Yes, it is me. I'm here. So, and mine's not super complicated. I have, like, all of these are the different text lines, and then I have my banner, which is just actually just one of my chat boxes from my overlay setup. I have a shrine flame. I have a frame setup, which is actually a webcam frame. Like, you can get really creative with it. And I use my webcam frame to frame the user avatar. When they go off in order, the frames in front, and then the banner pops up down below it. So they're all actually individual little pieces that I've kind of wiggled around until I found what worked for me. So set that up. If you have any questions, let me know. The other thing that I wanted to go over was how to set that up as an auto shout out. So if you want to do an auto shout out for someone, you'll go into users, type in that username. So let's say Mama's House Gaming. You'll go into edit actions right here, and you'll go down. This won't actually be here. There will just be a button that says add command, because there won't be anything here under custom entrance command. And you'll click on add that command. And then I have mine set up to where my people that I have walk on shoutouts get clips automatically. So I just have my clip shout out stuff pasted into here. But if you wanted to set up something new for someone and you wanted to just keep it simple, you could go to like let's see, let's go to Buttspot. Buttspot doesn't have a entry command. I'll just go to add command. You'll go to a chat message, and you'll just do exclamation point shout out $, username, not target username. If you use so what happens is when someone comes in to talk in chat, they're going, when they type something in chat, that's going to count as their entrance, and it's going to trigger the command, which is basically the same difference as them typing in exclamation point command. if you use a target username identifier right here, it's going to look for a target in their message, and there's not going to be one. So it will default to whatever the first word in their message is. For instance, if someone comes in and says, hey, it's going to shout out at hey, and then you're going to get a shout out for hey. It's going to mess up your clips. It's going to be weird. So when it's a walk-on command that someone is triggering natively just by talking in chat, you want to use $username, not target. I mess this up all the time. You're probably going to mess it up too. It's fine, but remember, if they're not physically typing a command and adding someone, you don't want to use target. You just want to use username. I do not like for the message to go off immediately. Can be a bit jarring when you say something in chat and the first thing that happens is just like a instant shout out the second after you finish your message. So I always add a wait timer. I set it to about 5 or 10 seconds, depending. This way, when the command goes off, and this is just my regular shout out, which should take about 5 seconds to go off. And there we have it. If you want this to also do the official /shout out through Twitch, you'll just go down to Twitch and you'll add in the send shout out command and just do /shout out. /shout out. Here you can do, if you're setting these up individually, you don't have to use the username or target name identifiers. You can just use the user's display name. So for instance, here I could just type in /shout out buttspot. And here I could type in !shout out $username or !shout out at buttspot. That's totally up to you. It just depends on what you're more comfortable with. You also could just manually, input, like, for instance, from your old shout out, if you don't want this !SO command to go off in chat, you could go to your old shout out and your commands. Go to it. Once it's set up and it's functioning the way that you like it, you can go down to here and click on export actions to file, and you can save all of this to a text file and then just go back over to your users and edit, and then go to add command and import, and it will literally just let you import your saved custom entrance command. So I could just put this in here, and now it'll take it a second sometimes. And then there's my entire thing. I don't even have to have the !SO go off in chat. It just goes straight to doing the shout out with no command necessary. It really just depends on what you're comfortable with and how you have everything set up. Just do whatever works best for you. Mess around with it. See what you like more. I personally like not having the !SO show in chat if I can help it, unless I am manually doing the shout. Just because when you do the !shout out, it is going to put a line of text, and then there's going to be the shout out text below that. It just makes chat scroll faster and can clog things up. It's just one less thing that goes into chat and makes your chat scroll a little bit slower, which makes it easier for me. But that's totally up to you. Next, I had a question about currency, rank, and inventory, which is basically, you see streamers that have these set up to where you go into a stream and you collect a daily. For me, you can leave a Shinsen at the shrine. Some streamers have crucies. Some streamers have daily pill bottles. Some people have daily cats. It just depends on what you want. No one thing is right, but if you want a item that you can tally up on stream regularly, you're going to go here to currency, rank, and inventory. You will add, you don't want to add a currency and rank. This is something that is possible. I believe I don't mess with this, so I'm not the greatest with that. This is technically going to count as an inventory. My cat is having a field day. I don't know what's going on. So you will go in and you'll add an inventory. It's going to show up here. You want your inventory to have a name. This is going to be like your umbrella category for any inventory that you create. So this is just a way to separate them out. For instance, if I had an inventory for Twitch and an inventory for, I don't know, if I could do this on YouTube, and I had like an inventory for YouTube, I could create like YouTube inventory or Twitch inventory. You can call this whatever you want. This is just going to be your identifier that the computer is going to use to kind of write its own HTML. So I have mine set to, in case I ever make an inventory for something else using some other platform, I just have this one set to Twitch gear. So I created this Twitch gear. Yeah, I don't know if you have to put in a max default. I just put in something ridiculous. This is a little bit beyond me. But after you create the inventory, so once you name it, so like say I add this, let's just say, let's say YouTube gear. Oh, I'm sorry. I typed that in the wrong box. So this is going to be that umbrella title right here. YouTube gear. Default max amount, it starts at 99. Like I said, you can increase this. I don't think it makes a difference. People started getting close to 90 in my stream relatively. I just upped it to like 5,000 because I was like, that's ridiculous. No one's ever going to get that high, and now I don't worry about it anymore. From there, this is going to be everything that I could get on my YouTube. So if you wanted, you would just go through and add items here by list. You could add a first redeem if you wanted it to tally up when someone does first. If you wanted to have a daily redeem, I have a channel point flex for people to dunk points if they have way too many. It's up to you. So like, for instance, here is mine that I have set up now. So I've added my Twitch gear. My default max amount is 5,000. I have a first, I had pumpkin spice lattes that were available for the month of October and November. I had candy canes that were available for December. The yokai is a birthday one-time thing. Then I've got my dailies. I've got my flex. We can delete the jail time. That was a failed channel point redemption. While I'm thinking about it, I'm so glad I opened this. So I've got my flex. And you add all these in. Whatever you name this here is going to become its special identifier. So let me show you. Down here, I've got my Twitch channel points. So you can go down into a... Let's see. So this is my daily. So I've tied this to a channel point redeem button. And I've just added a Twitch gear, add to user, Shinsen, which is what my daily collectibles are called, 1. The channel point can only be redeemed once per stream. And then I have my whoever triggered it has, you know, done whatever if you want it to total. So if you want it to show like a total of what they've earned, you'll use $user Twitch gear, which is what I named my umbrella category. So whatever you name your umbrella category is what will go there after user. And then Shinsen, which is my identifier for the item. So if you wanted to set something up, someone had asked me about item trades. This is not something that I have set up personally, but I would imagine you could set this to a Twitch channel point. You could set it to a channel point. I don't want to create an additional channel point on my channel right now, so I'm just going to set this as a command, but a channel point would probably make the most sense for this. So let's see. Also, I know that all of you guys see this command up here that says nudes. It's, you know what? If you're that curious, come into my stream and type in the command. Anyways, so I would do a new command, and here you would have a drop down to connect it to a new channel point, to connect it to an existing channel point if you've already created it, or just to create a new one. There wouldn't be a chat trigger if it was a channel point command, so on and so forth. But you would want it to go in and you would say consumables, currency, rank, inventory. You would add this, and you would, in your drop-down menu, pick your umbrella category for Twitch. So you would want this to subtract from user. So let's say I wanted someone to be able to trade in a channel point flex, which costs 50,000 channel points. So this would deduct 1 flex from them. And in exchange, they got to trade it in for a yokai, which is only available on my birthday. So, or I mean, I could even set it to, if you flex 5 times, you can trade them in for 1 yokai, which is typically only available on my birthday every year. And then that would be that. That would set up your trade. Now, here's where it gets tricky. If they don't have enough, it's going to, so like, say for instance, let me trigger this. So this is what it's going to say. MrKitsuneSoba, you do not have the required 5 flex to do this. So if we want it to work, let me just, here we would want to type in, let's see what it looks like when it goes through. Username traded in 5, ow. So username traded in 5 flex points for a yokai. They now have $, Twitch user, Twitch gear, yokai. Let me go back over here. I'm just going to give myself 5 yokai. Don't tell anybody. I'm going to give myself 5 channel point flexes. And if you ever need to edit anyone's stuff here, you go into users, click here. It will show you, you just click your Twitch gear, go down to yokai. It will tell you how many of everything that you've got. So I'm going to give myself 5 flexes. Okay, you don't have to save it or anything. Once you type it in there, it's there. So now we can go back here, and I will trade this in. Let's test command. MrKitsuneSoba traded in 5 flex points for a yokai. They now have 2. So, perfect. It can get a little bit complicated if you want it to... If you want it to do different things depending on whether the person has enough to actually make the trade or not, you have to add in variables. Variables can be complicated on MixItUp, but the standard the standard default MixItUp command of you don't have enough to do this should be good enough to get most people by. If anyone wants to set up something with variables, I can definitely, ooh, sorry. I can definitely do a video about that, but it's a little bit more in-depth and complicated, and I don't want to overload this video with too much information. So that is about it for the questions that I believe we had for today. If anyone has any suggestions or tips or ways that I can improve or do fancier stuff with MixItUp, let me know. And if you need a video explaining anything else, just leave a comment or send me a message. I appreciate you for hanging out. And yeah, that's it. God, so weird getting used to myself recording. I don't know how to do this. All right, that's it. Hopefully this helps. Am I supposed to say, like, don't forget to like and subscribe? I feel like I'm supposed to say, like, don't forget to like and subscribe and follow the Holy Trinity. I played the Corey too much. Anyways, I'm gonna stop recording myself before I embarrass myself. Okay.